Get a chat.
So in the first 2 weeks of the injury, I've been very lucky that I've been able to just engage in a lot of rest. And so I did that. And after about 2 weeks, my doctor has some kind of concussion scale, and I made a little bit of progress. But the doctor was surprised that it was as little as it was. And so I continued on and noticed certain cognitive problems. I've had problems with my short-term memory. I've had issues with sensitivity to light, depth perception, but the really big thing has been fatigue. Fatigue, but also coupled with motion sickness, headaches that I can't knock down with regular pain relievers, or with any irregular pain relievers, just persistent headaches that are, difficult. But the big thing has been the exhaustion, and that has persisted. And so here at the 12-week point, I can say that it was around the 10th or 11th week that I went out here and I walked 2 miles, flatland miles. And I say flatland miles because I typically am in the mountains. I'm here in town where I'm closer to care, but you'll often see me video clips and stuff of me up in the mountains at another location. And I'm here just for some convenience factors. But it was 2 flatland miles here, and I was exhausted for the rest of the day, absolutely exhausted. Well, my starting point when I entered Beast Games was that I could certainly do a 10 to 15 mile hike with, over 2,000 foot elevation gain. I was daily walking at least 5 miles. Typically in the flatland, I would try to go for 8 miles and hike at least 5 miles, and with at least 1,000 foot elevation gain every day. And that wouldn't wear me out, not nearly as much as the 2 flatland miles wore me out a week or 2 ago. And so the difference physically is shocking. And I'm just constantly just monitoring it, trying to navigate life. And so this apartment that I'm at here in town is an hour and a half away from the mountain location. And I can drive here, but I've learned that I really can't do the round trip in one day. And so I am essentially tethered to these locations, and I'm not able to drive. And really probably the 90 minutes of driving is too much. In fact, sometimes I break it in half and visit with my dad, who conveniently lives halfway. And so that, compared to just going on a massive road trip and not even thinking about it, it is shocking to be so limited and so dependent. And in terms of videos, so I'm here making this video now, I'm finding it challenging to keep my train of thought and my focus and my goal for this video. I have not made long form videos for YouTube. That does require more of that cognition and analytics. I have made longer videos on TikTok where I just ramble, kind of like I'm rambling right now. And you'll see I do lots of little TikTok shorts. I've started to make money selling this very t-shirt because frankly, I'm gonna need some money. And so I thought, well, I can do that because it's a 20-second video and I can keep my focus for the 20 seconds and do something lightweight like selling a shirt. So I have done that, and I'm doing that because, let me be clear, that's all I'm able to do. And it is in stark contrast to the analytical work that I was doing in the past. I hope to be able to do a segment on this in these videos, but if I don't, you can find a post on LinkedIn that I wrote about a week ago, maybe sometime in early October of 2024, where I discussed the model, the analytical model that I've been working on creating. And so you can see a difference between that, like analytically and cognitively, and doing TikTok selling a shirt. And so that.
Oh, she was wound up beforehand too.
The rest of
she was locked in to the YouTube thing, which is why she did the Mr. Beast thing.
Build out the story. Okay. If I forget to add this in the segments, as you'll see, much of this story touches on the relationship that I have with my 15-year-old son. And I'm asking that you all be good to him. I know this has been a big emotional topic out there.
By the way, she's the one that doxes him in this fucking video. I want to emphasize, we're not going to go through all the screenshots because she puts her fucking son's name on screen.
In the YouTube world. And it's a different.
She does it. It's like, you don't say this and then do that. Then dox your kid.
Topic.
Shows his face too.
And you can imagine, it's very difficult here in this household. And there is the potential.
Please don't show my face. No, honey, I have to. Otherwise, they're not going to believe that you're a MatPat fan. Which we're at 4 now, by the way.
For his heart to be broken in many different ways. And I would just ask for the support and care from the larger community in his case. And so, I will tell the story. I want to tell you first why I was even.
Okay. All right. Here we go. We're gonna see if things line up. Bobo, I know you kind of remember at least a little bit of what she was claiming through the Beast Game stuff. So let's see if it lines up.
At Beast Games, I don't want this part of the story to be lost. I will soon tell about the injury, and then
Because this is what we're watching is like 5 months ago. So there's a big time gap between interview and now.
next segment maybe, but how in the world I got on Beast Games relates to my relationship with my 15-year-old. It also interestingly involves a number of people you know. And so it was June 1st, the first day of summer for us here. And my son's last day of school was that Friday, and June 1st was a Saturday. And you all might remember June 1st because it is the day that the Mr. Beast channel on YouTube overtook T-Series. And it was just the perfect day for that because...
Wait. She remembers that? Do any of you guys remember that? What was I doing then? When was that? Your Beast takes... When was that? Oh, that was in July. What? Did
You
she?
all might remember June 1st because it is the day that the Mr. Beast channel on YouTube overtook T-Series. And it was just...
I didn't know that was a thing that
We
happened.
were tired. You know, school had just ended. And so we actually hung out in bed together and we watched, you know, the stats. We watched, you know, as Mr. Beast was about to overtake T-Series. We actually caught the exact moment somewhere. I have a screenshot of it, and I hope to be able to add just...
That's weird. Anybody else think that that's kind of weird? Oh yeah, me and my son, we were sitting there watching the T-Series and Mr. Beast numbers go and see Mr. Beast overtake. Like, oh, we were just hanging out with our feetsies out, just like, that's weird.
Exhibits to the end of all this that show some of this because there's a great photo on my phone of us with, like, you can see our legs and you can see the TV in the background as we were watching it. And at that time,
that's weird. Why?
Like, you know, bitch lasagna and all the lore of T-Series, you know, the T-Series, you know, adventure, let's say. And so there we were, and of course we were watching all of that.
I remember
and then
bitch
we were
lasagna.
Multitasking, like he was watching some other stuff and I was over scrolling through LinkedIn, as it turns out. And I'd been following some of Sean Hendrick's posts on LinkedIn, and he's an executive at Mr. Beast, and he had asked if had posted something about, like, what YouTuber besides Mr. Beast would you want to be in a video with, or it was something like that. And I had responded, and I mentioned a couple of different YouTubers, but one of them was Matthew Patrick of Theorists. We all know Matt Pat.
5.
Because Theorist, the Theorist channel, and especially Matt Pat and Stephanie.
Is that 5 or is that 5 and 6? Because she says full name. I hate when she says Matthew Patrick. Let's just say Matt Pack, bitch. It's fine. Matthew Patrick. I hate. Look.
Such an important.
Okay, we won't count it if she says Matthew Patrick and then Matt Pack. But if she only says, like, his name or just Matt Pack, then we count it. We won't count it as 2 though if it's together combined.
And we're just like Matt Pat crazy, and I'm Stephanie crazy.
6.
Just to say. So something about what Sean Hendricks posted kind of was in my mind, and we were watching the T-Series thing, and then another Sean Hendricks post popped up in that, and it showed a photo of the 50 YouTubers. So, you know, the video that went out this past July of 2024, I believe, sometime in July, maybe June, that had the 50 YouTubers competing. Matt Pat was one of those. Well, this photo made it to social media on June 1st or somewhere thereabouts, and we happened to see it somehow, I believe, as we were there watching it, and it made us wonder, is Matt Pat going to be on Beast Games? So somehow, in just all this crazy scrolling on, we get the idea that, what if Matt Pat's going to be on Beast Games?
9.
Wouldn't that be something? And then we got the idea, why don't I apply to be a contestant on Beast Games? About a month before, I had seen the notice floating around.
Dude, which is so funny to me that I had no idea. That's all you had to do. You just had to apply to be in Beast Games. Like, great, I'm sure they have, like, a hiring process and shit, but, like, apparently it's that fucking simple.
and, you know, the call for contestants, but I didn't pay any attention to it. But once we got this little idea, and there we were just like in the total cultural moment of like the T-series, that just all of that and all the fun, and just laying around like, maybe I should apply to be a contestant. And I thought, well, gosh, if Matt Pat's going to be on Beast Games, what would I pitch? Like, what would I pitch to be a contestant?
Okay, all right.
Oh my God, the great idea. Because you guys might not realize, so Game Theory is the name of a very popular YouTube channel, but long before the channel existed, long before Matthew Patrick existed,
11.
there is a theoretical area of mathematics.
She's going to say his name a bit here because she's talking literally about how she's the game theory. She was the game theory person in the Beast Games. That was such a stupid thing to... You'll see this quickly. We already know this, but she has main victim character syndrome, where she perceives herself as the main character as well as the overall victim in the Beast Games thing.
And is applied widely in the social sciences, and it's
a little gross. I'm gonna be honest.
And it is essentially analyzing like strategies of humans and doing calculations about their strategies. And so it goes under a lot of names, but the very big umbrella name of all of it is game theory. And so you might be an economist using game theory in your research, or you might be a sociologist using game theory in your research, or you might have a political science PhD and use game theory in your research.
I'm going to disagree for the most part. I feel like and that's coming from somebody that like literally makes like comparisons to things like video games or very strange examples to a lot of things, like to the point where like my partner bumps like, man, sometimes the things that you compare this to situations to, it just baffles me, right? And I still think that the literally gave those two examples to justify your weirdness of like, oh, I've been studying video games. Okay, girl, that's a hobby. That's fine. You can make YouTube content about it. But guess what? Somebody did it, and you didn't get onto it soon enough. That's all it is.
And
by
so,
the way,
in fact, I have a PhD in political science, and I have been trained in game theory. And so, the essence of my pitch was, I would totally, I'm going to hopefully
ready for
clip in, but the
because she's going to say, I was using game theory before Matt Pack was even in diapers.
Out there, we will find it if it doesn't end up in this reel here. But my pitch was, hey, do you have an actual game theorist on Beast Games? Because you have all these people playing game theorists on YouTube. You have Matt Pat playing a game theorist. You have, and I got trained in game theory when Matt Pat was in diapers.
13.
And long before Jimmy Donaldson even.
Do you see what I'm saying though? Where it's just like, it's like, lady, we get it. You're older than like all of these young cats that are like on the YouTube platform. Jesus Christ. Sorry, super out of it. And you're just like upset because they got to it before you.
Existed.
Like that's where this roots from on this.
Theory. And so bring on a game theorist, right? So that's a good pitch, by the way, because that did it. So I went to Beast Games as the game theorist. And in fact, when I was there, and so they mic'd me, by the way, at Beast Games. There was 40 or maybe 50 people who were mic'd in the whole thing of the 2,000 contestants, and I was one of them. Like, let's see what happens with the game theorist. And so my case is highly documented, by the way. I was wearing a lavalier mic during all the games at Las Vegas. But here's kind of the fun thing. Lost my train of thought.
There's another characteristic of main character syndrome right there. They mic'd me the whole time, I think. It's like, well, you... Okay,
to say this.
Whatever.
I sent in the pitch, but that pitch was then June 6th. By June 20-something was VidCon. I was a speaker at VidCon, and I actually spoke on a panel about creator diversity, and I represented older women. But in the process, I was able to speak to Matthew Patrick and Stephanie Patrick personally, and I told them about the pitch, and then I told them I might be on Beast Games, and it was just such a great little moment. I showed them a little clip. But in the process, I was able to speak to Matthew Patrick and
Oh
Stephanie.
yeah, okay, 14.
personally, and
Okay.
I told them about the pitch. And
I was like, wait, I think we missed a Matt Pack. We missed a Matthew Patrick.
Moment,
Not even just a
I
Matt
showed them
Pack.
a little clip that we made, so an additional clip, and hopefully that's in here too. That where my son basically
It's so
says to
funny
Matt,
to me.
hey, you know, hey, like so.
Oh,
if
we're
my
at
mom comes for
15.
you at Beast Games, right? He's like, just run because she's really slow, and he takes off running. It's just a cute little 10-second, super cute clip. It is.
Is it weird to anybody else that how much she's bringing up her son?
Just lovely. Just very
But like, also did the whole like, please don't harass him. Just show him. I just want him to get support in a community. Blah, blah, blah.
joyful. And I was able to show that to them.
Lady, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Some little
Sorry.
bear magnets. Boy, that's a whole other story. And because I had spoken to them at the prior VidCon as well, and actually for a number of years, I have a number of years of photos of me with Matt, Pat, and Stephanie. Or there's one video clip of me
16.
and Matt, Pat, and Jimmy Donaldson at a
Oh,
VidCon.
17.
This also
17. We're at
VidCon.
17, homie.
I was able to tell them the year before.
You missed like 3 of them. It's okay. It's okay. You're fine. You're fine. I'm keeping track right now because this is entertainment for me.
That when
This
we're
lady
having
is
a rough
wild.
time, and maybe my son just, you know, kind of stomps into his room or something like that. He's not much of a stomper, so maybe, but he, you know, when he gets upset and
Dude,
seeks
leave your
isolation,
kid out of this.
that
You
what
go,
I can
what?
do
Pee
is
once, yeah,
I
right?
don't follow him, let him have his space. But
Look, hey, this one continuously brings. This one has brought me malding for the first like hour and a half of all this content. Now there's gonna be a lot of me laughing and counting. Because I don't believe a word I don't believe this lady. I think she's trying to pull one on us.
I turn on YouTube.
It should be clear by now.
I find usually food theory and find a good episode, and I just turn it way up, and the voice of Matthew Patrick bellows through my house, and it would take a few minutes maybe, and I'll have company watching that, and everything's okay. And I thanked them for that the year before, and so they have played a special role in our life.
That's so funny.
This is just occurring to me right now, how sad this video will be for them. Now I'm okay, because I'm here, okay? I know I'm making it through this, I do. But then again, we all go sometime, and I don't want anyone to be sad when they remember me. And I just want to thank them. And so, that's how I was on Beast Games, is June 1st, watching the T-Series thing, and I caught the exact like turnover, rollover. I got it because we were watching.
Oh, don't forget though, guys. This woman thought she's gonna have brain surgery like around this time from her traumatic brain injury that she got at the Beast Games, but she can remember the exact moment.
We were watching.
Don't forget.
And we just binged all.
She also detailed, which I might show later, because it involves her son. So, yeah. But sorry, I got distracted there. It's just the things that she chooses to like very clearly remember, but also like under the guise of TBI is very strange to me.
All of that from what 2018 or whenever it was, and 19 and craziness and all of it. And we were excited about Beast Games for the story of it. In fact, there's a clip that they had us do a diary. I talked about how, I mean, I didn't think I was winning Beast Games, but I was going for the story, and I thanked them for that. I even said, like, I'll be your production assistant. you know, if you want me to fall on a sword, I'll fall on a sword. Let's go make a great, great story.
Honey, there's people that do, that's their job. That's literally their job. They've already found those people, by the way, honey.
And so that is probably why I was mic'd. And of course, who can resist miking a game theorist at these games? So the game theorist was mic'd. And let me just say, in being mic'd, so I'll say now a little bit about being at Beast Games, that the producers knew me and came up to me. Very clearly, the story producers for Beast Games itself knew me, and a number of them, 3 of them independently spoke with me. And
I believe she was for some of it. The problem is we won't know. We won't know. I would imagine that they mic everybody, and then when they go through, they catch and go through and editing and everything and add different stuff. I would imagine that there's a majority of people that were mic'd. Like, keep in mind, this woman has very strong main character syndrome. Like, the way that she's describing this, she's like, I didn't think I was going to win. But, like, I wanted to make a good story. Girl. Like, you had your chance. We saw what happens.
Woman producer who works like Mr. Beast YouTube knew me by just my appearance. And so the women there appear to know me.
Because you...
And so, well, I'll maybe say more about that.
I don't think that's true.
I will stop here.
A briefcase game. Okay. If I think we're about to watch is the dumbest part of her entire argument. So this is where we kind of need to lock in for a second. Because she talked about how she didn't hold on. Love it.
How to eat like a bear and how to navigate the resource.
It's okay. It's okay. Oh, here it is. Yeah. Don't forget, chat. This is the game this is the briefcase game she was talking about. By the way.
I sustained my injury in what's called the briefcase game in Beast Games. And this game was profiled in the New York Times article.
It's okay, Bubba. All right. Y'all motherfuckers got stuff you gotta do too. Walk away for a second. It's all good.
That New York Times article is the first time
there's multiple people
there were
here.
so many injuries in Beast Games. Some of the clues were there, but I hadn't really put it together. And to be clear,
I think it dies down for a little bit on the map pack talk.
I hope all those people are okay, but was I willing to die for Beast Games? And I realized...
I'm sorry. Was I willing to die for Beast Games? Like, come on, Amanda. Come on now. You're gonna go and you're gonna do the fucking game. And you're gonna like it. You're gonna fall through until you're eliminated. Like, Jimmy wasn't murdering people when they got eliminated. It wasn't actually Squid Games.
As two, I am the avatar of that New York Times article. And I'm horrified that I'm sitting here facing what I'm facing. And
oh yeah, ambiance were yeah, you heard that right.
Beast Games, and I realized
you are the one that can save us. She was the Obi-Wan Kenobi, make it a little bit more relevant to this community. She was the Obi-Wan Kenobi of the Beast Games. She was the one that could save.
Two, I am the avatar.
She was. She was that.
Horrified that I'm sitting here facing what I'm facing, and I do. I'm somewhat speechless. I want it to be clear that the risks of the game, as you view it, you'll say, "Wow. What a bunch of crazy people." I mean, truly. As you look at the game board and see that dynamic.
No, I mean, I'm looking at one crazy person, that's for sure.
Why on earth were people in that? I need you to understand that I didn't know the risk. And I can prove it. I can prove it with the cameras and the microphones that...
Oh, so evidence that you don't have. Got it. Okay.
Recorded all of it. I can prove it. I can also prove...
Can you? Because do you have any of this?
That Jimmy Donaldson knew the risk. Not only did Jimmy Donaldson know the risk, the producers knew the risk, and Jimmy's team of co-stars knew the risk, and I can prove that too. I can prove it because it is evident that they saw it. And as you watch the games and you see how crazy it was, you are watching it from their perspective. not from my perspective, not from my perspective as a contestant. In fact, there was an article in from Las Vegas, the NBC News affiliate, just a couple of weeks ago, sometime in late September of 2024, that was from the point of view of the contestant wranglers, and that was the production staff workers who were there, typically Las Vegas locals, and it was their perspective. And they talk about being in the bleachers of the stadium and watching it, and just watching them.
That would be fantastic if you could have referenced that better, but it's fine. We'll give a we'll give her a +1 for a second.
For goodness sakes, and saying like, why on earth were older people in this, and that people should have been wearing football gear or whatever, given what happened in that game, and yeah, apparently, and so we're.
Don't forget, you're not too high, chat. That was ambiance music.
Did we just throw ourselves into that, willing to die?
Which is so weird.
Because I know you must be aware that I did sign a liability release. And it's interesting. Let me say a little bit about that, because I actually did speak to a lawyer before I went to Beast Games about that liability release. He had seen it. And he had seen it from another contestant. And we were there at VidCon together.
Yeah, I'd be down to smoke. Let me grind up some weed real quick. Let me put some music on. So I just have to be able to section out the smoking if I'm trying to edit it later. yeah. You guys can look at some brought up pets for a second. Look at my build. I don't know. I don't know if she put them in there. I just don't think. I think that she was. I think that she. I'll be generous. I'll be generous. I think that she did not think that they would actually be picked up, and it's probably like her kid playing in the yard or some shit. Wait, actually, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it's purposeful or not. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if it's purposeful. Yeah. What crickets?
Spineless cowards and are just rolling over basically and playing dead should tell you a lot. Should tell you a hell of a lot.
Damn it. So, I'm sorry, Ertz. I just wanted to fuck with you for a second. It's super auto pets. That's why I paused the music. You gotta clap me. You gotta clap faster than that, okay? You can clap me away. You just gotta clap fast enough. Okay, let's. I hate that we're going through this. No, we're not going crazy tonight. We're watching crazy. We're not going crazy. We're watching crazy. Don't get it twisted, okay? All right. Smoke real quick, shall we? Where's me? I'm finishing this book.
And I mentioned to him that I might be a contestant on Beast Games at that point, and we talked about that liability waiver. And I said, oh yeah, I mean, you sign away like, you know, risk of death or whatever it is. And he said, you know, though, they do work on on.
You can't actually think that you're working on risk of death. Yeah, what? Is Jimmy gonna like shove you in a box? Or you hold you at gunpoint if you don't do what he says?
Set safety. And I said, yeah, I mean, I feel.
Okay. Well, you I text me before you go to bed then? So I know you're at least like going to bed alive.
Is highly aligned with like me not losing a limb. I said something like that. Like, we are in high alignment that I don't want to lose a limb and he doesn't want me to lose a limb. And so that was really my thinking going into this, is that they don't want injuries. Why would they want injuries? And if they don't want injuries, they're surely going to have things in place to, you know, protect from just kind of frivolous injuries, right? I mean, that just makes sense. And that is my expectation. Now, it was not my expectation to be coddled, you know, the sleeping on the floor, the, like, you know, the meals, which were terrible, all of that. So what? I mean, it was kind of part of the adventure. Running around in plastic bags. So
adventure?
What? You know, part of the adventure. So I wasn't expecting luxury, but I certainly wasn't expecting what actually happened.
It's fine. We'll just we'll go past that.
So Mr. Beast, who they had a practice round, in fact, of the briefcase game, because before the actual games happened, they brought in people from locals in Las Vegas. They hired them to come through and go through the different stages of the game to test them. And so they had already tested the briefcase game before the games even started. And so they had their test game, their test round of the briefcase game.